Hello, Marge.
Why can't I?
Yeah.
What's up?
Hey, hi.
Hi there.
Hey, Sandy.
Hi there.
Hey, Tammy.
Is anybody talking? Can anybody hear me?
I hear you.
Yeah, I can hear you.
I can hear you.
Hello?
Hello?
You're there.
Well, I can't hear anybody saying anything.
You can.
We can hear you.
We can hear you.
Testing, 1, 2, 3. Got me?
I'm going
Rhonda.
to sign off and sign back in again, I guess, and see what's going on here. Now I just heard something.
Can you hear me, Rhonda?
I hear you now. Thank you. Appreciate that. I don't know what was going on. I couldn't hear anything. All right.
Sure.
So just waiting for a few people to show up. Huh?
Who's missing? Belt?
I don't know. Let's see who all's here.
Jamin said he was going to be late.
Correct.
Jamin's going to be late. Yeah. We have Jim and Keith is here. Ralph is
Pokey's not here.
Social might be late.
Up here, Jim.
There's Oki.
Hi,
Hello,
Opie. Who else have we got? We've got Tom and Marge. Hi, Marge.
Hiya. We just need Phil and Jamie. I think I've seen everybody else. Is
Gonna be late.
Mike Socia, is he going to be here?
He's going to be late.
Okay.
See who else we keeping.
If I have any
keeping-
questions, can you hear me?
Hi, Sandy. Yeah, I hear you.
Hi. Good. That's all I want to know.
Andy's here and Matt's there. Is Dick Garrison here? Hi, Donald. I see Donald.
Hey, how are you?
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah.
Thank you.
What did I miss?
You can wait.
What was congratulations for?
We'll let you know. Okay.
Oh, darn. You got the legend. I see. Hi, Tammy. I see Tammy.
Secret for another
Hi,
5
Tammy.
minutes.
Is Phil Belt gone on?
There's Phil.
Phil, yay, Phil. Okay. And has anybody seen Dick Garrison yet? Bruce
Yep.
is here.
No.
Yeah, I think we just need Bruce then. I mean, Dick.
I have one that called in, looks like.
And Jamin, we need.
Yeah,
Jamin said he was gonna be
Jamin
late.
said he's late. Yeah, so he'll come in 15 to 30 minutes later.
Hello?
Oh, who is that?
Oh, who's that?
I think that's Mikey.
I'm here. I can't see anybody, but I'm here.
Hi, Mike.
Oh,
Okay.
Is that on purpose?
No,
Oh.
it's, you know, I'm a rookie on these Zoom phones.
You know, our new member, Karen, was going to join us also, just as a visitor. Is Karen here anywhere?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, okay,
Oh,
good.
Karen is here?
Good. All right, just wanted to check in, make sure you were there because we can't see you anywhere. So,
what's with the telephone call? Is that Mike?
I am on it. I'm on my phone. Do I need to flip the FaceTime?
Yeah, you need to. Can you
It's not
flip
a
it?
fake time, so I don't know if that's going to work for you, Mike. I see Tammy's got a friend.
Always.
Yeah, when I hit FaceTime, it doesn't do anything going to FaceTime.
We know what you look like, Mike.
Good.
This is my goose chaser.
Good. Need more of them.
Karen, welcome to the party, but why can't we see you?
I don't know. Am I not doing something? Should I share my screen or something?
Are you on a phone?
It's all blurred.
I'm gonna call back.
Oh, I know why.
Yeah.
Video.
Yeah.
There,
All right, now we see you.
there you go.
Well, Tom, what do you think? I think everybody's here to have the meeting with the exception of Dick Garrison.
Yep. It's 3:02.
Yeah, should we go ahead and begin and hopefully he'll join us? Okay,
Sure. Sure.
Okay. Great. Call the meeting to order then. First order of business is to approve the order of business. Anybody have any changes or adjustments on the agenda?
I do not. Everything looks good.
Okay, I'd like to hear a motion to approve the order of business.
So
I'll make a-
moved.
Approve the order of business.
All right, and second?
I'll second.
Okay, so approved? Or all in favor, say, nobody spoke up, so I assume that's approved. I'd like to hear a motion for the approval of the April minutes.
I make a motion to approve the minutes as typed.
Okay, and second?
Second.
Okay, any discussion, any changes? Those have been all probably turned in already to Marge, if there were any. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
So approved. Chair remarks. So this is going to be my last chair remarks. It's going to feel very strange after 6 years, and I know it is going to be for Jim also. We're going through a lot of transition right now in the golf committee with me and Jim leaving after 6 years. And I would like to say it's really been a pleasure for me to be able to work with all of you. I've learned a lot. And more importantly, I hope I've given, contributed to the committee and to the village, golf related. And I've enjoyed it. I'm going to miss it, but I think it's a good thing to change and see some new blood. And Jim, do you want to say a couple of words?
Well, my thoughts exactly. I enjoyed the 6 years, and it's time to move on to other things, I guess, and have somebody else get in with their thoughts and input. So I certainly enjoyed my 6 years on the committee, 6+ years. I think it was almost, I think I started a month or two early. So, and we carried a month or two late. So it's almost 6.5 years by the time we're done, Rhonda. But no, I certainly enjoyed working with everyone, and good luck to the committee. And I have whenever, probably, what are they going to get a new chairman next month?
Yes. So next month they will be seating Greg Spear and Karen Nickel, that's here joining us today.
Yeah.
And so they'll be officially on the committee next month. They should have been confirmed at the POA meeting yesterday. I couldn't join the video of the meeting yesterday because I was driving to Memphis, but I'm sure.
They were.
Okay, you think they were? They should have been.
No,
so.
no, I don't, do not.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Not from
well,
my agenda.
Okay, well, we'll follow up on that with admin. They were supposed to have been confirmed, but they're going through transition right now too. The whole board is evolving, so they're going through a learning experience there. So we'll see what we can do to make that happen officially as soon as possible. Tom, I'm sure you will. So besides that board our committee transition, Gary's no longer with us. And so that's a transition. I'm so grateful that superintendents continue to sit in and join in with us, and hopefully we'll continue to do that. And then of course, Dick Garrison is going to be our new board liaison to the committee. I think it's actually, there's going to be a different term for that. I don't think he's going to be called a board liaison, but it's a board committee representative of some sort.
It's a committee
So-
member.
Committee member. So Dick will be considered a committee member also. So that's basically there's 11 committee members because you're a committee member, correct? And then Dick will be. So there will be basically 11 voters technically.
Will he be a voting member of the committee?
Mhm.
He will be.
I think that's the point. If I'm not-
Well, there was some discussion about that, and I never did hear the final.
Yeah. So I
Yeah.
thought
And so,
before they were all just a tiebreaker, weren't they?
No,
Or the chairman was a tiebreaker.
staff and board didn't vote, but now it's both. So they're all committee members. There's no liaisons anymore.
Okay.
so next month you will elect, and you'll have I believe it's always been in the past, executive session conducted by Dick Garrison. And so they'll elect a new chair, vice chair, secretary. So that'll happen all next month. The one thing I would suggest that we discuss either this month or next month, it's up to you guys, is we always had our meetings at 4 o'clock, and we moved those up to 3 o'clock to accommodate Gary. And Gary's no longer here. So if there's a discussion, do you want to consider moving it back to 4 o'clock or keeping it at 3 o'clock? Keep in mind that we do still have our superintendents joining us, and that's always been good. And if you move to 4 o'clock, then that might be difficult for them to continue to join. So, but it's something to discuss and think about. Doesn't have to be decided today, but you guys, if y'all want to think about it, you can either make a decision today or wait, whatever y'all suggest.
I think one of the things that Gary pointed out when we changed it was not only him, but the superintendents were getting to work dark early in the morning and then having to stay, an hour later or whatever for our meeting. I think it might have been on behalf of all of them, but I don't know. We'd have to see what the superintendents have to say. Donald, this might be one of your new official duties when the time comes.
Well,
Check to see what they want to do.
I would like to suggest, I'm not going to be on the committee anymore, but I would like to suggest that until such time as there is a replacement for Gary, if there's going to be one, then at this point,
Is it time?
Rhonda, I'd spend your remarks. I'm going to jump in real quick. And why don't I save you this whole speech? And I want to tell everybody that Gary's last day is tomorrow, obviously. And we wish him and his wife a happy retirement and thanks for all he did. And at the same time, we want to announce Donald as Gary's replacement for the Director of Agronomy. So everybody congratulate Donald. Now you know.
right,
Oh,
Good job, Donald.
congratulations, Donald.
wonderful, Donald, congratulations.
I didn't
Thank
want to
you.
interrupt. I just wanted to get
Yeah.
you.
All right. Well, the reason I was bringing that up is because I would like to see you guys continue to have some input to the meeting from the superintendents that are on that agronomy side. So I'm glad that that's going to be there. So yay, congratulations, Don.
Thank you. My personal opinion on that is to still keep it at 3 o'clock, with that reasoning right now, it's fairly easy to get on a computer and log in, but come time, there's going to be a time when it all gets back to being at the Coronado Center. And yes, I mean, everybody's getting to work very early and, staying late for a meeting like that. It's probably the last thing, definitely superintendents want to do. So
Well, I understand.
that's my opinion.
We want the superintendents to be there as much as possible too. That's been a really good addition to our committee meetings monthly. So, okay.
And I do. I think with I think you have a better attendance from super.
Yeah, a little break up there. Got the gist of it. So, all right. Well, thank you for that. I don't have any more comments from the chair, so we can move on to Tom.
Tom, could you have Donald introduce himself for those of us that don't know him? And
Oh, okay.
Go ahead, Donald. You just want to tell them about yourself?
Hey, so yeah, previously I've been here at Magellan now for a little over, coming on 2.5 years. Been superintendent there. Definitely I've enjoyed the village. It's been awesome. When I came here, that was the mindset and the goal in mind, is to be able to move forward and be the replacement for Gary. It's come true. It's been awesome. Before I came here, I was at White Bluff Resort, Texas, as a golf course superintendent. And only reason why I left there is they ended up shutting the place down. So made the transition to Arkansas, and rest is history. So
You've done a good job at Magellan too.
thank you.
Yep. Yes. Rhonda, I have a couple things. I'm sure that you have a lot of things that you're going to want to be talking to and passing on to the new chairman. But from my end, I have a big, thick file on Adopt-A-Hole that depending what the committee wants to go forward with Adopt-A-Hole, but I'm going to want to spend some time with if there's a subcommittee or somebody on the committee, and pass along that file. And then the other one is the handicap committee. That's just a once-a-year meeting, but again, golf committee's responsibilities to have that, organize it, and I've got the file on it. So whoever they decide next month to head up the handicap committee, I should spend a little bit of time with whoever that is and pass that file along.
Yes, that is important. And so the rest of you, if you will keep that in mind once you're newly organized next month, and assign someone the duties that Jim has been taking care of these last few years as far as Adopt-A-Hole and handicap committee, then he can transition them into that.
Yep.
And from my standpoint, happy to help anyone that needs it, as far as that once they become chair, as far as agendas or reports, anything like that, just let me know and I'll be happy to give you all that information. So
Well,
I have a question.
now,
Marge, go ahead.
now that Jim's got it all so organized, the job would mostly just be keeping up the spreadsheet, with the, correct? I mean, I don't see that there's a whole lot to do with Adopt-A-Hole except maintaining the spreadsheet.
Yeah.
And if that's,
The way it works today, though, and we have some snags with it, is whenever anyone signs up, both the golf committee chairperson, Rhonda, and myself would be notified who signed up with their information. And then I would make contact personally with them, usually by phone, and talk to them about it and discuss what we'd like to have them do and that type of thing. And then a lot of times we would get notification, we'd get it 4, 5, 6, 7 times. Sometimes we wouldn't get them at all. But that's something that we were ironing out and working with Don Johnson. And then the other one is, as people come aboard and as people drop aside, to keep up with Don Johnson and that works for Tom, and keep the file current so that the information is correct and you don't have people that are not on the Adopt-A-Hole list anymore, that are long gone or don't do it anymore. So try to keep that listing updated is the real key. And then to contact them, and then again, if you want to keep it like the committee members forward the meeting notes each month and the agenda to their respective liaison, and then you have to decide if you're who's going to have what courses. But you can all do that again next month.
Okay,
Okay.
Anybody else have any other questions?
I have a question, Rhonda, relating to the ratings of our courses. Have they all been done now?
No, we're working on that. If you don't mind, let me stick to the agenda, and then when we get
Okay.
down to
Well, wherever that comes in, I don't know if that's under her report or wherever. I'll go ahead.
there, yeah, okay, let's do that. Let's go ahead. We're on Tom's report right now, and then when we get down lower on the agenda, I'll be happy to discuss with you the ratings. Okay.
Okay, sure.
Thank you. Okay, Tom.
Thanks, Rhonda. Good afternoon, everybody.
Tom?
Hopefully this is one of the last, we have to do this by computer, but we'll see. We'll start with the rounds. The April rounds were behind last year by about 4,100 rounds. To make that simple, it was about 3,000 rounds less in guest play. So it's pretty close to member play, but the guests are way behind because we have not had any unaccompanied guest play. We also had some rainy days, and we're up 10 inches on the year from the year before. So playable days are a little down. May has looked up for weather. We've gotten a lot better. I just fill you in now that we are 3,300 rounds as of right now up on last May. So the courses have been busy, even with limited tee times and limited carts. So that's a good sign. We got, I think, the members back out playing that weren't playing. So it's a good thing. Because of COVID, our tournaments and leagues were all canceled for May. We are looking at this going forward. They're still saying 50 for groups outside. You can get around that a little bit with as long as you do tee time. So right now, shotguns are the ones that are problems for tournaments. The other problem for our leagues is carts. We only have 75 carts at each course, so that has taken a damper on certain league days. So I'm going to stick with the league presidents and keep in contact. But right now, we're postponed through May, and we're going to take a look next week and look at June going forward. Ponce received their new golf carts last week. They have 75 new leased golf carts, so that leaves only DeSoto and Balboa to have the full leased fleet. So we have 150 more to trade in. If you haven't read the digest, the junior golf for the summer of 2020 has been canceled. They canceled it for the whole summer. They're still taking signups, and people are joining so they can have their card and get the junior rate throughout the summer. The other thing we received today, the USGA has canceled most of their tournament schedule for 2020. They're keeping 4 tournaments only. They're keeping the men and ladies opens, and they've been rescheduled, and the men's and ladies amateurs, and that's it. They're not doing anything else, which we had 2 junior qualifiers and the US AM qualifier scheduled here. So obviously without those tournaments, we don't have a qualifier. So those have been wiped out right now. The biggest part I wanted you guys input on is as of May 8th, the governor of Arkansas lifted the ban on out-of-state recreational traveling. He's opened up hotels, VRBOs, and rentals as we speak. And people have been coming into the village, staying at VRBOs and rentals since that day. We have stayed to our restriction of unaccompanied guests throughout that. We wanted to see how this works out. We wanted to protect the members. We think we've given it 3 weeks to see how it was turning out. And we would like to lift that ban and the restriction starting May the 29th and open for unaccompanied guest play. I think golf is the safest thing they can do right now. They're already coming into the village in VRBOs and rentals. So I think we need to open up the golf. We're getting plenty of people calling in. Am I correct, Matt? We're getting quite a few packages and other things coming in. So I've talked to Leslie about this. So we're going to go without any further changes in the governor or the CDC. We're going to go forward and have unaccompanied guest play on the 29th. Obviously, we're going to give them all the protocols in advance before they show up here. So we keep golf open. The last thing I got, and then I would love your response on the visitor play that I just went over, was I just wanted to clear up a couple things that happened yesterday that were kind of incorrect, that the treasurer's report during the board meeting. A couple things said golf showed poor usage despite generally good weather. Well, obviously we've had a wet spring. We have not had generally good weather. We haven't had good weather until May started. But the main thing is they said in the last week in April, we had three courses closed and many golfers were turned away. Boy, that is so not true. We had only 2 courses closed, which were Magellan and Ponce. We had a utilization rate in the morning, in prime time of 63%, and in the afternoon of 57%. So there was a lot of tee time still, not a lot. There was tee time still available. You just might not be, the one course you walk up on might be a little full. But other than that, there was times. Anybody that called, and hopefully we get people into this habit, call ahead. We'll find the course and the tee time for you. But as you know, we've got a challenging system going where we're blocking off some tee times because we run out of golf carts. And the last thing I wanted to do, guys, is I want to give a big kudos to the golf staffs who have never flinched, and they've been on the front line since day one. They're nervous. We are trying to keep them in PPEs. We're trying to keep them healthy. We're trying to not have anybody get sick. So they started nervous. They're doing a great job. They're sanitizing left and right. So are the superintendents with the halfway houses. I'd love to have you guys thank them if you're out there on the golf courses. I think they're doing a tremendous job on the front line. Just because they're the same to me as all the people working at Walmart and all the other grocery stores that are putting, their face out there with the general public. So that's all I have. So I will take any question.
Hey, Tom.
Yes, sir.
I got 2 questions for you.
Absolutely.
One of the groups that I'm in, they said that if they're doing advanced tee times, they can't put in any more than 16. Is that the case?
Advanced tee times, you got to have a guest.
No, this is for, groups in the village.
Lottery, you can only do 4 tee times. Yep, that is correct.
And why wouldn't we expand it if people can have more than 16?
They can't. Not in the morning.
Or they can do it in the afternoon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can call us anytime and book more than 16 anytime as a scramble group. Anytime, any tee time after 11, you can call us. We have big scramble groups.
You gotta wait till 11 o'clock to get the first tee time, Jamin.
Yep. Okay. If you want more than 4.
But you can't.
4 foursomes.
You can't do it as an advance. You
can go out in advance.
But not
you just cannot get a tee time before 11 if you got more than 16.
Okay.
Yeah, and
lottery's restricted at 16.
And we just
correct, Doki.
Okay. The other question was, I was with some golfers the other day, and they said that they had heard that we did not buy fertilizer for the fairways and pre-emergence this year. Can you respond to that?
Yes, sir. I've got Gary's response. This has been brought up a couple times.
Yeah.
Gary wrote this because Gary made this decision, and Donald knows, Donald and Juan and Keith, everybody, all the supers know this. So I'm just going to read what Gary wrote, okay? And it says, 2020 has been a very challenging year and will continue to be a challenging year. The golf course maintenance teams have performed their duties daily without hesitation since the COVID-19 issue surfaced. They are doing a remarkable job in maintaining the golf courses in the best conditions possible for you, the golfers. Knowing that there will be a revenue shortage in golf, recreation, food and beverage during the remainder of this year, I made the decision, meaning Gary, to forego the wall-to-wall pre-emergent application normally done in the spring. This was a $118,000 savings, and it was a decision he made. We have adhered to a solid pre-emergent program for the past 3 years, which have provided excellent results. By skipping this one application, there will be an increase in weeds this summer, but due to the cleanliness of the courses over the past year, the weed increase should be minimal.
Okay.
Plus, the teams have the products on hand to eradicate weeds as they come up. Gary Meyer.
And what
Did that
about,
answer your question?
well, that's the pre-emergent. Is that fertilizer as well?
Not, correct me if I'm wrong, guys, but nothing's been changed on the fertilizer.
The fertilizer is usually every 2 to 3 weeks, and that's a spray. That's going to continue as normal.
And that's for fairways, Donald?
That'll be for fairways and tee tops.
Okay.
Hey, it was an application mixed with the pre-merge also combined, you know, it was blended together.
Yeah.
Okay. So basically that's not true, except for the one application.
It was true about the pre-emergent, was not
Pre-emerge.
used, and they saved 118,000.
Okay.
And they think they can, and it'll be some weeds popping up, but they can handle it, is what he was saying. And previous years, they've done a great job, so it should be handled.
Okay.
There's Dick Harrison.
Decision to me.
Okay.
Question for Tom.
Yes, Ralph.
Today I heard from my group, I hadn't heard this before, that you'll have the option of riding 2 in a cart or 1 in a cart starting, I guess, now, or is this?
No, we're still in phase 2 where immediate family can ride together. But there's no choice. If you're living with somebody, you can ride together.
Okay. I don't know where they got that, but they mentioned it, and they mentioned it to me, and I said, I hadn't heard that, but.
No, it's still immediate family.
Okay.
Hey, Tom, is that a phase
Or-
3? Is that supposed to be a phase 3 thing then to get multiple people or what?
Phase 3 is going back to normal. Yeah. The new normal.
But until then, there's no discussion as to being able to allow 2 in a cart before phase 3 then? Okay.
It's immediate family is what they're recommending for 2 in a cart.
Tom, the group has been talking about phase 1 and 2 and 3. Actually, we're still on phase 1.
We're on phase 1 with the
Right.
state and closer to phase. We're more in phase 2 with. We also follow the USGA and PGA too to help out with golf.
Right, but we haven't.
Using our state as a baseline.
Right. We haven't implemented phase 2 yet.
Not in the state.
No. All right. Yeah,
Tom,
just
Tom,
we're
back.
throwing the term around.
I've got 2 questions, Tom. Is it 10 inches above normal or above last year for
Above normal.
Because if I remember right, last year we were awfully wet too. We were like 7 or 8 inches above normal.
It looked like about 2.5 inches above yet last year.
And then this year now we're 10 inches above normal. So it's not above last year or previous year. It's above.
No, I said normal. Yeah,
We've got
definitely normal.
2 years in a row of real wet winter springs. The other question I had was, Lois got an email today about, is couple starting June 7th?
I had heard that too.
No?
Not by us. No. If they're making their own tee times, they can do that. But we're
If I may speak on that, I can speak on that.
Go ahead, Matt.
Yeah, I talked to Ray Fugler, who runs the couples scramble on Sundays. He's going to just put teams together just like normal tee times. They're all members. That's how he's going to do it. So it'll be like a normal scramble group that we have after 11 o'clock. So it's not a tournament.
Okay, yeah, she said the email indicated that because so many couples have carts anyway, that there wasn't going to be a big deluge or having a big group needing a whole slug of carts because so many of them have carts, but it's not something, of course, the couples, I guess, are they part of the golf department or are they separate anyway?
They're not officially a league.
Correct. And it has nothing to do, I mean, as far as the carts, Jim, that's great, that they have carts and you guys ride in the same carts, I assume, husbands and wives, but again, they're not being treated any different. They're allowed to set their tee times like they're going to do it. And I talked to Ray and he's going to send out the email and just do it like normal, but you'll have tee time gaps too, kind of like we have throughout the village right now. And he understands that.
Well, at least that's increase in income and revenue.
Yeah.
It is,
Tom,
it's really
to your
changing. Pardon?
May 29th outside guest question.
Yeah.
I think that there's really not an issue with outside guests, provided we continue with the cleaning of the carts the way we have been. And they've been doing a great job. And I appreciate what they've done, and I know everyone else does too.
Thank you, Phil.
Hey, Tom?
Yes.
I have a question on that as well, though. Is there any concern that once we let outside guests in, we won't have enough carts?
Is there a concern? We still have the same amount of tee times. We still have the tee times blocked to not run out of carts.
Okay, great.
Hey, Tom, what are you going to do about the clubhouse and so forth? Right now, you have procedures in place. You know, and essentially most people, they don't go in, they just call in and so forth. They're able to put it on a card. You know, what are you going to do about the visitors?
The same. We're only allowing 4 in at a time, no more than 4 people at a time. We've also got, we've been waiting. They were supposed to be here this week. The big plexiglass shields in front of each point of sale that are supposed to be here, like I said, this week. And I can't wait for them to get here. So that would make the people, the employees feel a lot safer out there.
Yeah. Okay.
But we're only allowing 4 in the shop at one time. No more.
Mhm.
Okay, anybody have any further questions for Tom?
Tom, I just have a comment. I happened to tune into the board meeting yesterday, which I don't often do, but it happened to be on Zoom like this. And so I watched some of that. And I was probably as confused as you were regarding course availability and closing courses down. They made it sound like you're closing more than 1 course a day. Are you doing that, or is there a rotating basis on which that is done? And I understand if it is because, you know, you're trying to keep costs down and play, but I was pretty confused as to what was being said regarding availability of tee times.
Yeah, we were under the recommendation from the board at the beginning of the year to close down when the demand is low instead of opening all 8, and that's what we've done. In the winter, we had mostly 2 courses closed, and in April we had 1 course closed per day and 2 on Sundays, because obviously Sundays is our most underutilized day of the week. We're you know, I have it broken down here. You don't want to hear all of it, but it's only averaging like 400 rounds where other days are up at 600 to 700 rounds. So it's a very slow day. So we had 2 closed on Sundays. Now in May, we only had 1 closed per day.
Well, I think that good practice would say that if we're underutilized, that's the thing to do, because there is a saving there. And just because one board member didn't get a tee time when he wanted isn't a reason to change that, as far as I'm concerned.
Well, we also have the option too. If we need to open that one that's closed, we'll do that. You know, it's all about economics. It's all about whether we need that course open or not. So
are you able to do that on a, you know, I mean, without, I mean, in terms of scheduling, can you do that quickly?
It takes a little work, but we can do it. It takes a little work, but we can definitely do it. We have some really good people.
Oh, I understand that. Okay, thanks.
You're welcome.
Okay, I have one more question, Tom. On the 5 groups after 11, and the reason I'm asking this, or that you can only register 4 groups in the lottery.
Mm-hmm.
Because the WGA and the MGA, because some of the leagues aren't playing, people are trying to play more. And I know I have a group, and people keep asking to join my group because they want to play. Is there any way that maybe temporarily we could change that 4 minimum and increase it? Because like I know there's a group that plays Monday and they have 24 people that want to play. And so what she's saying now, and for that group is, okay, the first 16 that sign up can play. And so the other ones are now not playing, where if she could sign up more, or I could sign up more people would play. So I don't know if that's an option or not.
Well, that'd be great, but the only problem is from 9 to 11, that's when everybody wants, and there's no, we got open tea times, but not at 9 to 11. So if you start taking up all those 9 to 11s, then other people, eightsomes or, 8 people, they won't be able to get out. So that's why we do it after 11. So you can have as many groups after 11, but the mornings are kind of put aside for the members, whether it's a foursome or up to 16, but no more than that.
Well, that's good to know, because now I have an answer.
Tom, I'd like to, sort of mention something that we just did a group using your system, and we had 60 players. And we used the afternoon, and it weren't perfect. We didn't have any problem at all.
Good.
Yeah. So.
Okay. I see Dick has joined us there. Dick, it looks like you have your hand up. You'd like to say something?
I'd like to start with an apology. I had a personal matter I had to take care of, and I'm late to the meeting. But I am looking forward to being associated with you folks. And again, I apologize for being late.
That's okay. You're
No
in
problem.
you're in time. Actually, it's you're next on the agenda, Dick. So ordinarily in the past, Dick, we have at this juncture of the agenda, we would have a report just filling us in on the latest update from the board. So if you'd like to do that or something different, if you'd like to.
Well, I'd be glad to do that. We had a 4-hour meeting yesterday. I know because I was there for 4 hours. It was a monster. I think of interest to you folks, if you don't know it, is that Pam Avila is our new board member. She's our 7th board member. We did a action making the CMP not a governing document, but with the provision that anything within the CMP that's ongoing, we will look at it to see if it's worth picking up or not. Same thing with the AC or the protected covenants. We scrapped the 120 pages of new protected covenant back to the original protected covenants with the caveat that they could be amended and added to if we deem necessary. There was a golf question that came up that I wanted to bring to you guys. What did the golf committee feel about not using pre-emergence this spring? It's a pattern we've done in the past, and I wondered what you folks weighed in on that matter.
Anyone?
Well, Dick, I already asked them about that. And what Tom had said was Gary made a decision not to do the spring pre-emergent because they had done it for the last few years, and that ended up saving $118,000. But as far as the fertilizer goes, that is an ongoing process, because I know we had this discussion a couple days ago.
So we did the fertilizer on the grass or around the greens?
Guys?
Fairways and tee boxes is what they said.
Fairways and tee boxes. Generally when we do that pre-emerge, there is a fertilizer attached to it. That fertilizer usually lasts a few weeks and then it's gone. So currently we still spray our tee boxes and fairways.
But did we fertilize the tee boxes and fairways?
Not with that pre-emerge, no.
With just plain fertilizer?
Just plain sprayable fertilizers.
Okay. Well, that came up during the meeting, and I wondered.
Dick, they did indicate to us that they have enough hand weed killer available so that as weeds do crop up, they can spot fertilizer, kill those weeds, but they didn't do the whole entire fairways and tee boxes like normal because they did it the last 3 years.
And that saved, what, 120 grand?
18, yeah.
You know, I went back and looked at some of the reports from the golf maintenance, and in, I believe it was December, Ponce, which was a course that I got an email about, said they did spray pre-emergent on the greens, fairways, and tee boxes. So
No,
and what
no, it said greens, collars. It's just all around the green, just around the greens and collars. It wasn't fairways and tee boxes, I don't believe.
I'll have to go back and read that. It's been a while since I read it, but they did spray pre-emergence, I believe. You know, I'll have to go back and look. But
So generally, we're going to have 3 pre-emerge apps going out. Our spring pre-emerge, which would normally have gone out, we skipped. We want pre-emerge going out in the fall, which will be a wall-to-wall app. We will have another one going out at the very beginning of the year when we are completely dormant. So we missed that spring app. So now we need to be able to get through our season with the chemicals that we do have and get us to that next fall pre-emerge, which is generally going to be into September, early October.
So you historically have put a pre-emergence weed killer down 3 times a year. You just
Yes.
skipped one. You skipped the spring for this year.
We skipped the spring one, yes.
Okay.
Hey, Dick, do you have anything further for us?
No, other than I'm happy to be with you. I covered this when I wrote for the paper, the golf committee, for a couple of years, and I have been to quite a few 20+ golf committee meetings in that role, and I always enjoyed the meetings, and I'm looking forward to working with you folks.
Well, thank you.
Welcome.
Okay, let's move on to the committee chair reports. We have communications and presentations from Opie.
Nothing new. As you know, everybody, I think everybody was here last month whenever we decided to postpone the short game challenge. That's going to be September the 11th, correct?
Yeah.
But so basically, we just kind of so we're not signing up or anything yet. So we're kind of on hold until we kind of get closer and send out flyers and so forth. So I guess, Matt, do you have anything else that?
Well, we did discuss maybe doing partners or twosomes as opposed to singles.
What?
We discussed possibly doing partners.
Oh yeah, right. Adding partners to as one of the groups, I guess, more or less, instead of just having strictly singles.
Yeah, I think we agreed upon doing that.
Yep.
I think that adds a new dimension to the game and make it a lot of fun.
It does. Yeah, it does.
Okay.
I'm really looking forward to it. I think by that point in time, with all the things being delayed and so forth, that we ought to have a lot of interest, I would think, into it. So it ought to hopefully that'll really help us be a lot more successful than what we even thought we were going to be to start off with.
Yeah, I hope so. Okay, Jamin, do you have anything for the finance, from finance?
No, the finance thing, we went through the numbers last month, and, until we get another year under our belt, there's really not much more to do there. Unless Tom requests some my help or Phil's help or Ralph's help on a particular matter. I think the annual analysis is probably what we're going to get each year.
Okay. All right, thank you. Moving on, let's have Phil. You've been waiting a couple of months to discuss this.
Well, I know last year we had shotgun starts. It was, I want to say, late summer. We started back, Tom, refresh my memory on timing, but and they were successful, and I know that we have limited golf carts right now, so that tends to be a little more of an issue. But is there any chance that we can have, weekly a course with a shotgun?
Sure. I mean, we did it last July and August. That was the timing, and it worked out well. I think the leagues loved it. Each league did it. We did it for the leagues a couple times each. Yeah, right now, Phil, pulling off a shotgun is just keeping the carts away. A big collection of people is what the problem is right now. So until we get a little closer out of phase 1 in Arkansas and phase 2 in golf, I think we can do this once we get to that stage. I think it worked out great last year. I'd love to continue it.
What do you have, 75 carts per course?
Yeah. Yes.
So
Plus,
you did it before in this phase 1 with excluding private carts. The most you could have on a shotgun would be 75 players, whereas you could go to 150, which is more than enough if you had 2 to a cart.
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense.
Tom, do you have 75 carts at Coronado?
No, Coronado has 45 carts.
Okay. I'm just curious because I'm scheduled June 29th for the shootout, and just curious on how that will.
Yeah, right now, if you're over 50, it'll be tee times, Rhonda, and not a shotgun. That'll be the hard part.
Okay, I'll discuss that with you down the road.
That's fine. That's
okay.
fine.
All right. Now, Keith, your question about course rating.
Yes.
I should have covered that.
So I'm sorry, Tom, did you have something else?
No, I said I should have covered that when I had my report, but go ahead. You've got the answers.
Okay, so here's where we are with course rating. We have 3 courses left in the village to rate. We have DeSoto, Isabella, and Balboa. And DeSoto and Isabella were scheduled back in, gosh, was it February, Jim? Phil, I can't remember. I think it was February. We were scheduled and we had to stop that. So we currently are looking at June 3rd to rate, June 3rd to rate DeSoto. Probably, June 18th to rate Isabella, but we'll probably go the 11th, Tom. I'm not real sure on that extra date in order to get the whole 27 holes in.
That's fine.
Balboa, we haven't scheduled yet. We still have Diamante we've got to squeeze in there too, and we're looking at, I think it was the 8th, if I remember right. So we're trying to get them scheduled. We schedule them based on the dates that the courses are closed, so that we're not interrupting golfers, and it takes us all day to get a course rated. So if there's golfers out there, we would have a really tough time getting a course rated.
Rhonda, too, Keith, we also, every course is being remeasured too, also. So it's not just a rating, they've been remeasured also.
And the ASGA has to do that.
Longer?
Longer, yeah, longer.
Well, and also ASGA has pretty much asked us or told us that going forward on all the courses that we rate, we're going to remeasure. So that adds additional work, additional scheduling, usually pushes us back as far as the raters scheduling and so on. And it gets difficult this time of year to rate because this is normally the prime time to rate, but it's also the prime time for golf. And we're golfers. And so our schedule gets busy. We get booked up with tournaments and so on, vacations and so on. So it becomes more and more difficult to get the team all together at one time on a date that works for the course in order to schedule it. But we do have DeSoto, Isabella, and Diamante scheduled for June.
And Magellan, Ponce, Granada, and Coronado, Keith are all done. 4 of them are done, 3 of them are scheduled in June, and Balboa is still hanging out there.
So those new ratings are then turned into the ASGA, but they don't show on our cards, obviously, until you reprint cards. Is that correct?
That is correct. We're holding on as long as we can. If we're on to get as many courses done before we get the cards printed. We've got proofs back for all the ones that we've done, so we're ready to go, other than DeSoto and Isabella, what she's working on right now. We're in June.
Yeah, this coronavirus kind of really put a kink in the scheduling, so.
Correct me if I'm wrong, with the new rating on those 4 courses, when you play it and you turn in a score, you are not comparing it to the old rating, but to the new rating.
Correct.
They are all active.
Yeah, the new ratings are active and on USGA. It's just not on the scorecard.
Yeah, I understand.
So when you guys have groups out there, you need to look at how many strokes you get from the computer and not off the scorecard.
Correct.
Okay.
On the ones that have been re-rated.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Thanks.
Okay. Do we have any other committee suggestions or input?
I've had a couple of people ask me about putting a bench or 2 around the practice area at Magellan.
Okay.
Is there not benches on the range, Donald?
We do have a bench on the range, and that is going to be something I'm going to look at replacing. It's old, and we definitely need to replace it. As of right now, that's all we have out there is just at the driving range tee boxes.
I thought there was one overlooking the putting green too.
You've got that one right there beside the pro shop, and it's facing right out on the putting green. Yes.
Marge, what was the suggestion? Were they wanting them like down lower on the?
Yeah, down lower where the
the greens are.
What we could look at doing is, before all this stuff started with the COVID, we added sandboxes down there to sand divots and all that stuff, and we could put something kind of in that area. That way it's away from everybody, and if anybody's over there hitting and they need to sit down, that's it's kind of out of the way. So.
We've kind of taken everything off the range just to be sanitized and safe. So.
Yeah, right now probably isn't a good time to put a bench out, but once the once we have gone through later phases and can be more social again, and benches don't have to be sanitized and all that, then could probably put one down there. I can see where it'd be helpful. There's a lot of people that use that practice area down
there. Sure is. It's busy all the time.
Yeah. Yeah. It'd be nice to have one over in the shade side.
Okay.
Well, our only guest today is Karen. And Karen's there somewhere, I believe. And Karen, did you have any questions or comments to add?
No, I don't think so. One question I have is the meeting minutes. I went to the website and pulled them up, but the only ones I could find were the ones from February. Did they get emailed out, or did I not look in the right place? Or?
They don't post them all. They usually just post the recent ones. And then we did see, was it March that we skipped, guys?
March was canceled.
Right.
And we just approved
April.
April, so they'll be out there, but
okay.
They have to be approved before they're out there, right?
Right. So April can't get posted yet. So February is the last appropriate one to be there.
Okay. And
this is officially Karen. Welcome her. She's going to be hopefully officially seated next month. Dick, are you still there?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. We were expecting Karen and Greg Spear to be on the agenda to be confirmed to sit on the committee at yesterday's meeting. Do
Did you send it to Diana?
I turned it in 2 or 3 months ago, a couple of months ago, to Ella, and she has always been the one in the past that sees that that gets on the agenda. So
I think now the best way would be send it to Marcy Mermel. She's the new secretary, and she would be the one to get it on the agenda.
okay, we'll make sure that's on there. Thank you. Okay, if no one else has anything else,
I would like to ask Karen to adjust her picture so we can see the rest of her.
You see your nose up.
We're only seeing half of Karen.
yeah, the top of your head.
Can you move your screen? Are you on a desktop?
No, my laptop. Can you only see part of me?
Keep going. You're there. You're almost there, Karen. There you go. Yeah.
I'll put my chair up next time.
All we can see is the top of your head and your sunglasses. Well, everybody, it's been great working with you. I've loved it. Have a great rest of 2020 and the years to come.
Hey, you've been a great chairman.
Thanks, Rhonda.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right.
Jim, thank you for all your work.
Jim, thank you also.
You're welcome. I enjoyed it. Thank you.
Rhonda?
She's gone.
I'm here. All right.
Okay.
Thank you, everybody.
Maybe for Donald and Keith, since they're still here. Regarding the aprons around the greens, some of them are really, on several courses are really beat up. Is there a reason that they're, that there's hardly any grass on some of those? Like number 1 in Granada comes to mind. And several on Isabella are like that. Is it just that they're hard to maintain, or does it happen when we're, because when they're aerifying that they get scraped off a lot more than other places? I'm just wondering how or why some of those are so bare.
For Granada, for my course,
Yes.
combination of being way too wet and there's just a lot of standing water and foot traffic is a combination of the two.
So it just, you're aware that what I'm talking about, particularly on number 1 then?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yeah, it's extremely wet. We've added a drain there, so hopefully in the future it'll be better.
Okay. And like I said, Isabella is another one I recall where the aprons around the green were really bare for a while. Maybe they're better now, and I thought maybe it had to do with when you're aerifying and moving that dirt around and sand around, that they're getting scraped off or something from the machinery.
No, I didn't have anything to do with airification here at Granada.
Okay.
Granada's greens are the best they've been in years.
Well, I have no problem with the greens. I'm just wondering about the aprons.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yep. Except I can't putt.
Hey,
But
everybody.
it's not your fault.
Thank you, Rhonda and Jim.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Tom.
Bye.
Later.
Everybody have a safe time.
Will do.
Bye.
Time for a doers and water.
Good for you, Ralph. See you, Tammy. See you, Juan.
Bye. See you, everybody.
Gotta stop the recording. You gotta end it, Juan.
Trying to figure this out how to end it. I'm gonna have to get some help over here.
Look top left, maybe.
Here, I'll just close it down so nobody can see me.
No, I gotta have you off, kind of.
Well, I'm facing too.
Just hit the your arrow or your X up in the top right corner.
All right, go ahead and turn it off.
There it is.
All right.